Oh, hi.
Hello.
Oh, there you are. How are you doing?
Doing good. How are you? Are you feeling better?
So much better. It was COVID.
Oh no. Yeah, it's been going around.
Apparently. Yeah, it just like the last time I had COVID was like years ago. And I guess I mean I haven't kept up with my boosters now since like the last 2 years, I guess.
Hmm.
But it just like felt so different that I did not even recognize it.
Yeah.
Um, and there wasn't any respiratory symptoms. It
Hmm.
was like the body chills. I was just like
Normal
one of the
flu.
nights just like
Yeah.
couldn't stop shaking. Yeah, it felt like the flu.
Ugh.
And it was like painful how aggressive my body was shaking. Um, but yeah, that was the worst of it. And then I just had to have a day where I was like a vegetable. And then
There.
after that, I slowly kept getting better. So
That's
yeah,
good.
thanks for asking. How are
No,
you doing?
we're hanging in there. It's we've had like a lot, like I'm sure it's high heat everywhere, but we finally got a break with some rain and stuff, so everything is
Oh,
cool.
nice.
But yeah,
Where are you again?
I'm in Colorado.
Okay.
Yeah, that's our home base, and then I'll be taking over at the Wyoming project at the end of the month for Rachel. So yeah,
Okay.
and then we'll do September, October, November in Wyoming.
Wow. Okay. Very nice.
Yeah.
Cool. I am I've been in Oregon for the last couple of weeks and I finally made it to the coast, which is like really, really nice.
Hmm. Sure, it's
It's
gorgeous.
actually kind of cold. Yeah.
Bundle up.
Yeah. Cool. Well, Alice, how are you?
I'm hot too, very hot. Not from being
Yeah.
sick, just from being outside and living here. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I've been a slug and we haven't done much training. I got in a couple of sessions, but that's about it. I'm just kind of hunkering down, waiting out the summer for the cooler weather to come.
Yeah, it gets pretty tough. Like if you don't get out before, I don't know, even like 9 o'clock. I don't know if you have humidity, but I forgot about, we don't have it here, but when I was in Iowa for the camp that I went to, like that 80 felt
Right.
way worse. So,
Yeah, no, we don't have too much humidity. It's been a little bit higher than normal. Sometimes it's down around 1%. Anytime it gets up like 9 or 10%, because it's like over 100 every day. So
ugh,
Mm.
yeah, yeah.
Are you
I
in
would have
Southern
to get.
California?
I'm in Central. I'm in the San Joaquin Valley, north of
Oh,
Bakersfield.
okay. Oh, yeah. It's hot up there.
Yeah, yeah. Not as hot as like in the real desert, but still, it gets really hot. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the dogs come in every day around 1, and they've just learned to just lie around. They don't, they're bored and I'm bored, but we just do it.
yeah.
Yeah. I was feeling that when I was in the Bay Area. I was thankfully parked at a friend's place, and so we were using her AC during the day because me and the dogs would not, we couldn't hack it.
Where were you?
I was in the Bay Area. I was in Los Gatos, California, San Jose
Oh
area.
yeah, Los Gatos. That's a
Just
little bit inland. So yeah, if you get away from like 10 miles or more from the coast, the hot gets you. You have to be like right
yeah,
on the
really
coast.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, well, anyways, we're happy here. We just had like a little nice forest run, and um,
Wow, that's great.
yeah, I
So
love
where are you
Oregon.
back in San Diego now?
No, I'm in Oregon.
Oh, in Oregon. Oh, nice. Okay.
Mhm. I'm east or west of Eugene.
Okay. That's really nice. Yeah.
Oops, sorry, my internet. Yeah. So, anyways, Alice, did you have a video that you wanted to share?
Yes, and also Anne posted on Patreon 2 videos that she wants us to look at so she can watch the recording
Okay,
later.
awesome.
No,
Great. Thanks for bringing that up. I appreciate that.
yeah.
I'll pull that up.
Okay, so I'll share my screen if you'll enable that.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see, there's too many windows to deal with here. Let's see.
I do the same thing.
share. Okay, so this is 2 sessions. Okay, I guess I just have one screen to share, so I just say, share sound, optimize for video. Okay, share. All right, and then this is it. So let me just stop it first and get it a little bit bigger. Okay. So the first half of it is up in the forest, in the national forest. And I'm just using Kong. You know, I switched her over, or, you know, I trained her on an additional odor of the dried mushrooms, but we were not successful. I never found an area where I could find the mushrooms. So I said, you know, I've had the experience of imprinting her on a new odor. So for simplicity, I'm just going to keep using the Kong pieces because they're so easy to use. I can boil them and clean them off, and I can find them. And it's not hard to set them out. So I'm just decided to work on her, getting her to search in new areas without so much distraction, by just using Kong. And then whatever odor I need to switch her to, I think she'll switch pretty quick. So our biggest problem is right at the beginning. And that Skillshare last week was super excellent because it gave me a lot of new ideas what to do with her at the beginning to get her head in the game. And you'll see in the second one where I'm trying to get her to sit next to me, and it takes like 4 times and luring her with food before she'll even do it. And then she consistently misses the first hide. So she's just zooming off. Oh, this is so fun. And then she misses a hide. So here we are in the national forest, and then there's one in the big field on my property, because we had one day where it was overcast and it was like 90 for a little while. So I did something. Okay, here we go. And so now the first hide is right around that area, and she passed it already. I wonder if this would be less jerky if I'd made it smaller.
It looks okay. I wouldn't make it any smaller. Actually, if you were able to do a full screen, that would.
Good.
Okay, I could probably try that. Yeah.
Leave that one.
Okay, so she got the first one. There's 3 of them total. And now she's looking, you know. You can tell when she's not paying attention or she's looking for critters because her head goes up and her ears go up. Okay, so she found the second. Okay, I'm cutting out all the reinforcement part. And so this is the one that she missed. So we're just kind of walking along, and I'm trying not to stop. I'm just trying to keep walking. Like if she walks past it, I walk past it a ways, and then I turn around and, you know, kind of like don't leave the area, but I never stop walking because I don't want her to get a clue that it's somewhere around because Mom stopped walking and she's just standing there now. This one must be harder because she is trying, I think. But then what happens is she sniffs and sniffs, It's on the other side, it's to the right, on the other side of this big stump that's kind of falling over.
Fine.
So she smells it, but she can't get to it. And she's confused.
I'm hearing wind in the background. Was it like somewhat windy of a day?
Or it might just be me breathing.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't remember if it was windy. I don't think it was that windy. Okay, so then she knows it's here and she gives me kind of a false alert. It's not really a false alert because she's close, but she's not, doesn't have her nose on it.
So that would be called a fringe alert.
Okay. There it is. You can see it right there.
Fine.
It must be a little bit windy because I don't breathe that heavy when I'm just standing around. Okay, so she's telling me I smell
is
it,
it?
Mom, but I
Fine.
just can't find
No,
it.
that's not it. Fine.
So I just make her do it more. There, okay. So she found it.
Ding! Good.
All right, so that was our forest thing. And as long as I have her on the line and I mean, I don't usually do a search when we first just like get out of the truck, but we had done a little hike and everything. And so I thought she was focusing pretty well on what she needed to do. And so I was happy with that, but she still misses the first thing every time. So I got to have a better routine. Okay, now then the next segment, this is at home, but it's in the big field, which she gets, she doesn't go in there very often. And I do have her on a line, but again, you'll see that it's hard for me to get her to sit and pay attention. And then she misses the first hide again. Okay.
Good girl. You have to do it. Sit. Greta, sit. Greta, sit. Hey, sit. Good. Good. Ready? Fine.
I wish this video wasn't so jerky. The laptop is having trouble processing. So the first hide is right here along the fence. It looks like she's gonna find it. We'll let it find it. I put yellow flags out so I can. Right there by that flag.
Well, that wasn't very good.
And she did turn around. But I decided I'll just keep following her so she doesn't get a hint. And then I just turned around and followed her back into the hole, like if we were quartering the field.
This way. This way. Fine.
I'm gonna get a head mount too, so my hands don't get on from the camera.
Bing! Good!
My
What a
time
good
wasn't that
dog!
close, just this video is
This way.
and I marked her
Fine.
right when she hit home. I'm gonna try speeding it up just as long and
This way.
Alice, if you want to pause just a sec.
This way.
I have an initial thought. So, what I've noticed from each find is that you approach, she breaks the down and she goes into a sit, and then you mark the sit with your Bing, and then you
Okay,
reward her.
Okay, let me say something though. I'm marking the down. It's just on this video, the video and the audio isn't syncing very well. So I said bing
Okay.
as soon as she downed and not after she popped back up. She pops up when I say bing.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
And I might have a couple.
That was
of-
all. I just wanted to, because if that were the case, right, then we would be marking a different behavior. And that's why I bring it up, because I wonder if maybe the find wasn't being marked and the indication, or if the behavior of her sitting up was being marked.
No, I'm really careful to not
So,
to mark it as soon as, sometimes I make her hold it. I make her hold it until
I just find it
walk over
interesting.
there.
Okay.
Like
Uh-huh.
she stays down.
Would
till I
you
walk.
be able to mark without approaching? Would you be able to mark without approaching? Like she's in that behavior and you mark it from there?
I can mark it from a distance, yeah. Yeah, when I say bing, that's marking
Yeah,
it.
because it just
Yeah.
looks, even with the audio and visual being off, it looks to me like there's a behavior chain that she has that I've seen in the past, of where it's like she goes from remember how she was sitting and you wanted the down, and we got past that component. It feels like she's got this like two-part component, and it might like help with clarity of the behavior that you're looking for by making it just a one-part component. I don't know. It's hard if the audio and visual are off, because I don't know how off target I am.
Right. You're not seeing the true timing.
Right. So anyways, that's the initial thought that I've had.
Okay, I'm gonna try, let's see. How does this, okay, I'm at 5:52. I'm gonna try stopping this video and then starting it again and see if maybe it'll.
Sometimes when I play it in a player instead of from YouTube, it's more herky jerky.
And how else would I show it? Media player, so I don't know what else I could play it with.
It would be something for next time to upload to YouTube and pull up the YouTube link. Because for some reason YouTube,
so it's not
in my
just
personal
YouTube?
experience,
Okay, let me try that.
in my personal experience, it's shared better than
Okay.
my media player. And when I've seen Kayla do it, like her media player is usually herky jerky,
Okay,
like mine is.
Let me go ahead and pull it up on YouTube, because it is on YouTube. I can find it in just 1 second. And we were
Okay.
at 5:52. Let's see, my videos. There it goes. All right, here it is. And play it. Where does it say play in view on?
Yeah, I just clicked the link. Yeah, there you go.
There it goes. Okay. So let
Fine.
me stop
Yeah.
it and go. I'll just start again. Somewhere up here. 5. Okay. Okay, let's see if it shows the time.
Video. Cool.
Boy, I would have thought it was different.
Bing! Good! What a good dog! This way.
Yeah, that looks
Fine.
different to me.
Yeah,
Nice. Nice, Alice.
thank you.
I think it could also be cool if you
This way.
mark it from enough of a distance where she has to come and totally break out of behavior. I wonder, messing with that, what that might look like.
This way.
Because she goes into the sit to get the reward instead of totally breaking out of all behaviors.
Right, okay, I can
Maybe
try
it's
that.
not related to anything. Maybe it could help with clarity. I think it might be fun to play around with.
Okay, thank you for that suggestion. I'll try that for next time. Okay, and you know, I kind of had a plan that I was gonna walk back and forth in a certain way. Yeah, this is playing way better now. But then she started leading me, like she smelled it from a distance and was leading me to a find. And so when that happens, do you just follow the dog?
Yeah, we want to
typically,
trust them.
yeah, typically if we have like transects that we're supposed to be walking, I'll let them take them
Good.
off.
All right. You found
Okay,
it. What a good.
let me stop. Okay, if you have transects that you're supposed to be walking, you,
And
what do
they're
you,
pulling me because they're on odor. Like I'm like, oh, this is in odor behavior. I let them break the transect. And if you have like a flag with you or some sort of thing, or just remember where you left. But if you like technically for some of these jobs, we have to go back to that same spot and continue our transects. But I definitely let my dog take me off if they're on odor because I don't want me to be pulling them off of odor.
right, okay, good. That's
Yeah,
what I kind of did, so I'm glad I was okay with that. Yeah, and
yeah,
I forgot
definitely.
about that little butt scoot boogie she did there. Okay, so I think they're
Good you are. Now where are we going? Okay, let's go this way. Find.
yeah, but of course, when they get off, then I totally
This way.
don't know which way to go. It's a big field. But she worked the whole time, so I was really pleased with that.
And are those a bunch of critter holes on the
Yeah,
ground?
ground squirrels.
Okay.
We're trying to get rid of them, but it's really hard. They're invading my landscaping too by the house. Okay, there's another flag, so there's one there that she missed. But of course, I shouldn't say she missed it because I don't know which way the air is going or anything like that.
Find.
I said that because she looked like she was distracted with her head up there when I gave her the green flag.
Now, are the flags in like the general area of the hide
Yeah,
or?
just the
Okay.
general area, right.
This way. This way.
Yeah, I
Being
would say I don't think
good.
she missed it. I think you guys were upwind of
Good.
it
Good.
when you passed it the
Find.
first time from the way the flag is blowing.
Oh, okay, yeah, I didn't even look at the way the flag was blowing at all.
Perfect.
Being good. That's my girl. Very good.
Nice.
Fine.
Yep, that, and then, let's see, did I put 5 of them out, I think? I don't remember. Maybe I put 5 out.
This way.
No, maybe that was, maybe, I already lost count of how many I picked up. It's been a week or two since I did this. I think there might be one more. Now, when when the wind is blowing a certain way, do you try to walk your transects across the wind or parallel to the wind?
Perpendicular. Like I want it on my, yeah, on my side.
Perpendicular, okay, that makes sense.
And Heather, you like to be upwind so that you're basically clearing
Being
sections,
good.
right?
I like to start
So,
upwind.
Dog. All
yeah.
right.
We have other people that prefer downwind because then that also, because I was like, tell me why you like that. Because I feel like it's my backup. Like if you have your circle plot and it's here, and we're going this way, I have multiple times to get it versus if you're downwind and you miss it. That's how I think
Right.
of it. But Blair has said that they use it as kind of, I guess her dogs are great and like they've always done that sort of thing. So they're used to reading their dog that way. But then also, they have a better understanding of like their detection distance at certain wind speeds too. So I could see the positive
Mm,
of that.
mm.
But and like search and rescue, they work
Yeah.
downwind. Obviously, you want to get
Well,
to
but
your
yeah.
as soon as
Mhm.
possible. But yeah, I typically like to be upwind. But
Yeah. I like the idea of clearing things.
yeah,
And if you're presented this like 5
perfect grid.
finds in this
Yeah,
area, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, then I would like to be able to like find it. Okay, it's done. We don't need to go. It
Mhm.
probably helps you stay on transect better too, because you're
Being pulled
you're not
less.
just like
Yeah.
pulled.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
have a good
Uh,
wind that day that's like 15, 20 miles an hour, you could be at the end of or the start of this area and be all the way up and then pulled back. So it's also
right.
energy, but it also depends on the size of your search area. Ours are
Right.
the 120 meter squares. They're not huge, but that would definitely change when you're on like acres and acres that you're searching. Yeah, you're kind of going to be searching for hours at a time, so you just kind of pick your direction and keep on going, I would imagine.
Right. Well, I have some of Sam's pulled. No, Anne. I was like, her name is Anne, but I forget she has a shared account with her partner.
Right.
I have Anne's pulled up here.
Oh, good.
If we're ready for hers. All right, can everyone see that?
Yeah.
Cool beans.
My plan is, that's the barking dog distraction. I'm going to let Susie take the lead in searching. I have Clove Odor out just for 5 minutes. I'm going to start on this side of the yard and let her go. And then if she doesn't seem like she's on odor immediately, I'm going to try to just suggest kind of a 3 pattern, dividing the yard in 3 spaces going one way, and if we still don't have it, 3 spaces going the opposite way, and see if we can hit it that way. All right?
I hope somebody can hear better than I can what she was doing, what she was saying.
Let me see, because she shared her training plan. If I can just if the system's it's in this window. Do I have to stop a share in order to see the other things in my window?
Probably, but I think I got it.
Okay.
She set out Clove for 5 minutes, and her plan is to let Zuzu lead, and do 3 sections, like split up the yard in 3 sections. If she doesn't find it within those 3, then go the opposite direction. Just to have, yeah, a good training or like a good plan from the start. And yeah.
Cool. Thanks, Heather.
Yes, good girl. Very good. Good girl. Good girl.
So she's using oils.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think that was like very similar spot to the last time where both dogs were missing it, but we kind of figured out that it was an odor availability issue.
Hi, good girl, done. Yay!
Such an
Good
energetic
job.
dog.
Good job. So, I just realized I don't have an end of search idea for her. I was going to do a scatter with Soph and with Sue. I totally forgot about that. So the feed bag where she puts her face in is when it's her reward at the end when we found something, and that's like her extra special reward. Like if there's 2 hides, 3 hides, 4 hides, she doesn't get that till the 5th hide is found.
Yeah.
So I need to think about
Great.
that a little bit with her, but definitely would love suggestions. All right.
Oh no, it sounds like she's doing
Better
it.
stop talking to the camera and go outside.
I think
don't know if
she's
she
being
just
hard on
means-
herself.
I don't know if she just means like end of search in general
I just
queue,
realized I also didn't have
because
a
she did
plan for
reward
Susan
and then
vacation.
just kind of ran up. But maybe she wants to have a
Yes.
specific, like, we're all done or something.
Mhm. It
But-
sounds like she's already doing that though, but she just needs to kind of separate a little bit. Like, here's your reward for that find, and then maybe we take a few steps, and then it's like all done, and then
Yeah.
the dog can feed from the pouch.
Well, and because
Working on it down.
down the line, like I get the idea of using the jackpot reward for, the last one, but when you're blind and don't know how many there are, you won't know when the last one is. So just keeping that
Right.
in mind as well.
Right. So for me though, like the jackpot would be the end
Mhm.
queue. Yeah.
So then maybe, and for future, use that as your end, not at the last find. 'Cause
Yes.
in the
Yeah.
future you might not know.
I don't do anything for a last find in practice because
Like in
you can't
special,
do that.
like special. Yeah.
Yeah, we actually will keep searching because I don't want a find to be the end of search queue either.
Totally.
So, yeah, I would just treat every find, you get the reward based off your performance, and then our end of search queue, if usually if he's still searching, then I'll give it. I mean, yeah, he will be still searching, but I'll give the queue then. So I think she's doing it. She probably just needs to separate those 2 events, it seems. Let's see what she says here.
Nose hold indication separately, but when she's doing a search, she hasn't fully done that yet. She usually just does the nose hold, but she only usually remembers it down if she's not getting reward and she's trying to figure out why. So I didn't think about that for this. So I kind of waited for her to have a longer nose hold, I think. We'll have to watch the video to see if I timed that better the second time when she went back to it, that she held it better. So. All right, thank you.
I think it's still on the order of seconds, so I don't know how much longer she's hoping to expand off of it at this point. Let's see what she says. Last coaching call, we talked about verbalizing the training goals for a session. I did both of these videos. Listen to audio, you can hear or explain what I do. Love your feedback, how I executed it, whether I did what I said. I also talked about end of search, feedback on that too. Am I rewarding at the end of search or having a bigger extended reward party for a fighting hide? Yeah, I think we answered that, like, just have your big reward for the end of search. I did Zuzu's session first, and by verbalizing my plan, I realized afterwards that I forgot to think a few steps ahead. Okay, great. She's basically writing down what she had told us. I'm trying to change my hides on or near objects so that she learns she can just be in the space or grass too. Perfect. Awesome. For Sophie, for the next one, I remembered more aspects of her session ahead of time because I did her second. Yes, we all do this where we are learning from each session. I'd love feedback on any aspect of the session or things I may have missed. Also, last time I left essential oil odor out for too long, which is talking about the last review we did. This time it was out for about 3 minutes before Zuzu's and 10 minutes before Sophie's. Cool.
Sophie? Okay, my plan for Sophie is to do a search. The yard's kind of divided in my mind in 3 areas, going front to back, and then side to side, if she doesn't get it on the first go around of the 3 sections. But I'm going to start her over in this corner and have her start kind of on her own. Is where if she's catching odor from the beginning, I'm going to let her go with that. But if she doesn't, then I'm going to suggest kind of moving in the 3 sections. One way and then 3 sections the other. I still don't get it. And for her indication, I would like a nose hold. Doesn't need to have a position change. Had been working on a sit nose hold, but we're not there yet. So a nose hold, and then at the end, our done is going to be a food scatter. All right.
How funny, she has such different dogs.
Yeah.
Yes, good girl. Nice job, so. Good girl. Good job.
So she had the hides in the same place for both dogs.
Yeah, she just left the same one.
Yeah.
All done. Yay! Good girl! Yay! Good job! Good job, so. Good job! Ready, and scatter! All done. Scatter, done. I guess apparently cheering a lot and praising her is also our end.
That's great.
Done. Good girl. Good girl. All done. Good job. Good job.
Awesome. Um, my initial thoughts are, let's see when we go back to the reward sequence here.
Nice job.
All right, so she's moving forward, you can see already. She hasn't set her marker yet. So I think she's like trying to rush to capitalize on that behavior. But I would just want to keep my movement and the marker very separate so that I know what my dog is actually picking up on as uh, the marker cue.
Good girl. Nice.
As I think she's saying it as she was moving forward. And then I would also say, like, is this a terminal or a duration? I would want to know more of, because she's rewarding in place makes me think that this is like she's trying to reward the duration of her being there. And that point, I would probably be working on odor recognition rather than indication. But if the dog already has odor recognition and we're working on indication, I would say we probably want to be using a terminal marker to bring the dog out of behavior. In which case I wouldn't be rewarding at source. So it kind of depends on like which of those dials she's hoping to play with, in my opinion, on what approach she could take. And if it's the terminal marker, you did the thing, good job. I would probably allow the dog to come away from odor, because anytime my dog encounters odor, I want them to be providing me an indication. So not spending time around odor that they're not indicating in. So then having her come to you, you get the terminal marker, good job. And then, like, if you could re-cue a search and continue searching the yard, and then give your end of cue and end of search cue while the dog is searching, to reward that behavior as well, because it's not really the indication that's most important, it's the search behavior. And so I think that's an awesome opportunity to be like, yeah, good job, you're searching, okay, we're all done. That's my initial thoughts. Do you guys have any?
I agree with that. I was gonna say, I don't exactly know the goals, I guess, or where they're at in terms of wanting to, yeah, like just prioritize the target odor recognition, or if it's the duration of the alert. I think, but you can have a different plan for each session, so totally. But I guess, yeah,
Totally.
maybe narrowing in on which part of that you want to work on during each one, because I have times where I will do like handler's a dummy, or where I'm practicing where I mean, I know I set out the hide, but like I want them to hold it while I'm looking to confirm if that is actually a hide. And I'm not going to mark before I actually get eyes on it, because I don't want to, in the field, mark on a dead mouse instead of a dead bat. So those are the times where I'm specifically practicing hold your alert until I can look at it. And then he kind of backs up a little bit. He's like, it's right here, mom. So
Mhm.
yeah, just having, I guess, I really liked or Anne, I'm talking to you. I really liked your your plan at the beginning, but maybe for yourself, or just kind of what the goal of the training session is as well, or like I'm working on holding the alert, or I'm working on just odor recognition and making, you know, engagement and party time around finding things. So like you had mentioned, there was a dog barking, so like distractions could be a thing. So, and I'm like changing my plan because there's a dog barking at my dog while they're holding alert, and that's not something we usually do. So just,
Right.
yeah, those sorts of things. But yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, I mean, she's doing a great job working with like a low energy dog in this search environment. She's definitely challenging herself at both ends with having the different types of dogs that she has. So I think that's a really cool way to learn, to have such different exposures
Totally.
with your two dogs. Um, and so it's cool to see kind of how you're behaving with both. I wonder if like maybe she's like it has a tendency of trying to move fast to catch Zuzu's movements, and that has created kind of that movement
Yeah.
into the reward. And if maybe that's something she maybe doesn't have to do so much for Sophie, or maybe it's something to again like figure out which of the things are we trying to work on here, because then I wouldn't be moving in if we're marking the indication, but would be okay to be moving in to provide a reward at source for the odor recognition. So,
Yeah, and
but
also
if they're
just
finding it, then they're probably recognizing it, right? I mean, unless it's just like novel odor,
Mhm.
but it's then at that point, I would say having other distractors out so that they're not just encountering novel odor and being like, oh, what is this? So if it's in a tin or something like that, putting out blank tins. And then if they only go to the oil odor, then we know they have odor recognition, so then we know we don't need to be rewarding at source anymore.
Yeah, I got the feeling that Anne is not real confident that her dog is going to hold the alert for very long, and so she's hurrying before the dog breaks the alert, so she can get that reward in. And I had that problem too with Greta, and I just did a lot of training in a really low distraction environment where she would hold the alert for way longer than I needed her to, while I could walk around and do things, and she would still hold that alert, and she knew for sure that I was going to get over there and finally reward it. And I think maybe Anne could go back to that with both of her dogs, so she's more confident that they'll just stay and hold the alert, and she won't feel the need to rush.
Well, it depends on what she's trying to work on. Like, because we don't know for sure if she's wanting to do odor recognition, or because if she's doing odor recognition, I would be like, okay, like going into it, that's fine.
Right.
Well, and I guess,
Because
do
you're
you
proof of purpose.
remember what she said about Zuzu about the nose target, and then her also going into a down when she's not rewarding quick enough? So I guess it was at the end of her last video. I couldn't tell if she was
Okay.
saying that's something they're working on, or if she should have waited for the down, or like, I guess I don't know what the alert that they're looking for then, if yeah, if she
Mm.
mentioned that part, but
Yeah, that
I
would be a
can't
good
remember
thing
if she
to
mentioned it in the
include
video portion.
in our write-up.
We,
We should include what the dog's alert is.
Hold, but she only usually remembers the down if she's not getting reward and she's trying to nose hold indicate.
there we go.
So I just realized I also didn't have a plan for Zoo's indication. We're working on a down nose hold indication separately, but when she's doing a search, she hasn't fully done that yet. She usually just does the nose hold, but she only usually remembers the down if she's not getting reward and she's trying to figure out why. So I didn't think about that for this. So I kind of waited for her to have a longer nose hold, I think. We'll have to watch the video to see if I timed that better the second time when she went back to it, that she held it better. So, all right, thank you.
She's doing an awesome job of like verbalizing the goals, and it's just that when there's so many things at play and you can only work on one at a time.
yeah, it sounds
So
like they're working on an additional part of the alert, but it's not ready for
right.
searches yet. So totally,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but she's doing an awesome job of really making sure that she's like what is our plan for this? And again, like I said, like working with two different dogs that have such different needs, and that she's kind of trying to have like a parallel plan, but you're going to need to make modifications within each one, obviously, as she's finding out that she's making different approaches. So I think that's really awesome. Um, but yeah, it sounds like, well, I thought was really interesting what she said about that the dog will be willing to down if she waits it out, but she's trying to wait for that. She's trying to like play that game between, do I want to down or do I want the nose on source? And if we stop rewarding just the nose on source and only reward the nose on source and down, we'll start getting that more. So it depends on if she's willing to kind of like go
Take a
through a
step
little bit
back.
of an extinction protocol with that. Because it would be a little bit of a jump, like, okay, we might have some behaviors come up that we don't like. But we might be able to surpass all of this and get to that down that she wants anyways. So yeah, again, it kind of depends on where she wants to. I thought that was a really interesting comment that she made, that Zuzu does know to down, but only will do it if we're really explicitly waiting her out. So if we just always wait her out, I wonder what we would get from that.
Or even if she just cues it. I mean,
Yeah,
I
just cue
was
it.
doing
Yeah.
that a few times for this wolf imprinting protocol. It's in there. So I was like, okay.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
But some people don't want to teach the alert that way too. So it all depends on,
Sure.
yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I think using her marker system because she's got it, and as soon as we can wait out, we can keep ourselves away from it, from the dog at the find, and wait out the dog just like a second too longer to see if we get that down. And if the dog like looks at us or is unsure or looks like they might leave, then asking them for the down. Um, or you find it, you get your nose on source, I mark it, you come to me, you cue the find again. If the dog understands that they can find the same thing repeatedly, then cue the find again, and then require a down in that circumstance. They go to nose on source and then I say down, and then and try and get it that way. So those are a couple of my ideas.
Mhm.
Cool.
Sounds good. Very good. Well,
Overall, I
that's
think
the
she's doing a really
procedure.
fabulous job of I think this is something we could all kind of learn from, of how we can hold ourselves accountable for what our goals are. I think she's doing a really awesome job of that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Cause like you said, there's always 10 things that you're trying to work on, but having an idea of which one should
Right.
we work on during this session and not try to lump it all together. Yeah.
No, because you or your dog are not going to learn anything if you're trying to change 5 things in one session.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, because we just had the two of us that had video, I brought a video up of Onyx if we wanted to watch it.
Sure.
If you guys are into that. Okay. Cool beans. Thanks, guys. This is my good boy.
How old is Onyx?
Find it. He's 2. Let me go past our first 2 finds since this is a longer video. Oh, that's one of the finds. Wow. How do you guys see? Oh shoot, the video is kind of crappy.
It's all right.
He's parking nicely.
Is this in Oregon?
This is in California.
Oh, okay.
I'm doing direct at source. Well, this is actually 6 weeks ago. Yeah, way to go, buddy.
Nice.
I sped up the reward sequence,
Wow.
so
Good boy. Sit. Sit. Good.
find it.
So you're just working him on a collar, he's not on a harness.
No, I'm done with the harness. It's too like we'll do it if we need to deploy, but like it's just a barrier to us working right now. Like it's just one other thing for us to oh gotta put the harness on or whatever.
Oh,
So
yeah, I get that.
yeah, he's just working on his flat collar.
And what's he searching for?
This is grizzly scat.
Good boy.
We're working on him holding his indication with me, like kind of messing with him. Yeah, way to go, buddy. This is actually the woods outside my mom's place. She's got this really nice, like, private hiking trail. Sit. Good. Good job. Happy guy.
Yeah, that nose goes right down when you say find it.
We already found everything in this area, but he wanted to explore it, so I kind of just let him. I'm trying to wait for his cue for us to move forward.
So the next hike is down the trail a little ways.
Yeah. It's going to be past these trees it's going to be a bend around these trees.
He really took off there. Do you think he was in odor right there?
Yeah, he's at a find right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he really got it and just zoomed away to it.
And the camera's on my body, so sometimes it's not as good as I'm trying to find a way in.
Yeah.
I love when you can just see their tails.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're happy with where we're at. That's 6 weeks ago. There's been some change since then, but our next move is to get back to using our markers for the reward sequence rather than the direct at source. Cool.
Nice. Yeah, that was back when you had messaged to the group. So you were just kind of using the direct to help with the alert, and now you just will be able to use both, right? Kind of.
Well, yeah, and the thing with direct at source that I really don't like, which is why I hadn't used it until now, is that you have so little control over the cues that the dogs are going to use to extrapolate that they've done the thing, because they will be using some sort of physical cue off of you, and it's nice if it's one that you are manipulating. But it just was so nice to get him off of me for a little bit. And now we can go back to using a marker. I think what I will do is the thing that I had proposed of marking throwing a ball at source, and then move to just I mean, I can be anywhere to throw the ball at source instead of behind him, which is where I'm at right now. I'm behind him to reward. And then I don't know from there if I would then mark it and then like throw the ball maybe towards source, but like kind of roll it. Because the whole point is that I don't want to just be chucking a ball. Or then maybe I'll bring in a different reward marker. I have one that I've started where I drop it by my side. So it's still like the ball is not in my hand or like being delivered from me to him, but um, as a delivery at the ground or something like that to kind of keep me out of the sequence a little bit is my hope. So that he's not like looking to me for the reward.
I sometimes you
I
just
don't know.
use
What do
this
you?
thing out. I just put his toy out sometimes, like, and then it's this simultaneous practice of you can have it when you find the thing. And they definitely know where it is because as soon as I say ball, they turn around and race off to it wherever I put it in the, like, so if you've got like like a field or some area where they can like go back to it, then that can be a handy system as well.
Nice. Cool. I like that. You got anything, Megan?
No, I have a hooray.
Yeah.
I was really happy because I accidentally searched in a ibis graveyard and and Merlin's like generalized to wild birds that I haven't rewarded him on before now, so that's great. So I was really happy about that. And he started trying to eat all the tiny graveyard bones, but I was a bit like stressed, like, should I reward on the bones? Technically they're the ibis, but what if he decides he's going to indicate on sheep bones and kangaroo bones and every other bone in the whole entire world? So I did reward him on, I found a head, an ibis head skeleton, like a bigger skeleton that was also kind of clearly ibis-like and not just like ancient degraded bone. So I rewarded him on that. And he started just like walking over the tiny bones and doing a better job of like targeting. It was cool. I wish I had videoed it because I had put out his training odor, his like tiny pieces of his toy, the Knot Kong. And it was really cool because he was like working the dead stuff odor from really far away, but then he clearly picked up his toy odor and he was like, okay, well, I know where that is. And he just went straight, like head flicked it, went straight past. And I was like, oh, you've missed it. But then he went, because I didn't know I saw the ibis, but I didn't know where the other target was because it was like blind for me. Anyway, and then he found it and was like, yes. And then as soon as I released him from that, he went straight back to the other target. So I was really happy. That's my like big hooray, that he's finally like clocking all the targets and just like, it's clear that he's got a better reinforcement history for his training odor because he's been doing it for so much longer, but he wasn't blowing it off. He was just like, hang on, this one first. And so I'm like, yay, you're like a real working dog now.
Yeah, that's so
Oh
funny.
yeah.
3 years.
I've had times where Scotty he has his ball from a find, like a real find, and then he like takes his ball, finds where another one is, and doesn't tell me. He's like, okay, now I know where my next one is. And so then we're like playing with his ball, take the ball back, and he's like, okay, here's the next one.
So cute.
So like as a part of his reward sequence, he's like running around
He's
and like
still
kind of sniffing and like
yeah, he's still finding
something
another one.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's
So he's
like,
like, yeah, sure, I'll give
already
you the
got the
ball, but I
ball.
gotta know. Yeah.
That's part of the
I'll
art
give you the
issue
ball
of,
back if I already know how to get it again.
yes. I guess I should be maybe
Yeah.
using that because our biggest struggle, which has been for like almost a year now, is like getting the ball back. And it's been an uphill battle. I've like tried all the things.
Oh no.
Do you play the Switch game with him?
Yes, we're working on it, but getting the last ball is still a problem. Um,
Mhm.
and like food is not an equal trade, and I've tried like lower tier rewards, and now those are like he'll snatch them if I look like I'm gonna be ending the game. So we're
Well,
just
Heather,
Mm.
I have my dog Emmett. He's a problem to get the toy back from because that toy means so much to him. And he'll switch it, but like you said, at the end, there's no way to just have, because he knows it's the end and he doesn't want to give it. So what I've done is we say, we're going to put our toy away. I say, toy away. And he carries his toy and he puts it in his crate and he leaves it there. And then he comes out and gets a hot dog piece. And he's so happy because his toy is safe in there and I'm not touching it or taking it away. And he knows it'll be there the next time. So maybe you could do something like that with Scotty.
yeah, at the seminar I just was at, like they suggested having like give him his secondary reinforcers, especially for like trying to be efficient, which I get, but I
Mhm.
also like want to make sure I'm paying him fairly. And I get if we're having like a high, like if it becomes five bats versus one that we find a day, like yes, then I need to be more efficient and can't be taking 5 minutes at each reward. And then they suggested, okay, when you end the search, like give him the ball, he can carry it to the kennel. So like I think I'll use that, but I also still would like to have some sort of give and take so that we have a better I ruined the relationship with Toy, I think, during our first season when like we were finding so many and I needed to shorten up our reward sequence and like had to take it when he wasn't like done with it yet. So it's just kind of been an uphill battle since then. And I'm like made rules of like never taking it out of his mouth. Like he'll come to me now with like, he's like, oh, I got it. And then I give him head pets. But then I'm like, okay. And then he like goes and takes it by himself. So it's rebuilding our
Mhm.
relationship and figuring out what we can do. Cause I've done the switch, we've done tug, and yeah. Anywho,
So if you did a Switch game with like when you're
two
doing
equal
the Switch
balls.
game and
Yeah.
yeah, and I'm talking about doing this in a separate context from away from work at first, where you're just
Yeah.
playing.
Yeah.
And so if you're doing the Switch game with your two rewards that are equal and you do it at a really low value toy, is there overlap between his highest value food and the lowest value toy? Is there any overlap there?
That's a good question.
Okay, well, I started actually in like today is day one of doing the Chirag Patel drop it protocol, where he just like scatters food at the beginning and puts that on a queue, and then you implement that into it. So yes, like he had a toy in the house, like inside toys and stuffies are lesser value. So he was like, when he gets frustrated, he has to go run and get a toy and thrash it. So he had that. And then I did our new drop queue because drop is tainted. And he actually left the toy and ate the food. So, and that's just kibble. So yes, I think there is a promise with this. But yeah, I think I feel bad, but like I've been trying to do balls outside of the context of work because like letting him have access to them. But now I'm like, do I have to take a couple steps back and not use ball for a bit and like work on second tier toys maybe to kind of be able to get our give and take back? I'm kind of thinking maybe, but I don't love taking his favorite thing away. Yeah.
I mean, I don't even have like I don't have an issue with Onyx getting to drop the ball and he still doesn't really get like it kind of sucks like having a dog that's so ball driven that you're not like this highest value thing isn't something that you can just like reserve for only work and then just like play with it all the time and I don't want to see any fallout from using it as a reward in work. So I'll only have like lower value things or he gets free access to. And so I do wonder if you had like if you did that, right? If you tried it for a week or two and see if you then played the Switch game with lowest value toy and then you had like amazing high value food, can you do a scatter? And can you then, if you're successful there and you want to move up the value of toy, I would at least have already practiced like making the toy go dead and on the ground, where it's like the toy is dead on the ground, you can't do anything with it. You could try to tug at it, but like I'm going to resist you. Or you could have all of this high value food. So now the toy is dead, low value already, high value food, and then just building it from there.
Except I think possession is the fun part for him too. Like he'll just take it and play with it with his feet upside down. Like it's the cutest thing ever. So he's like, I don't need you sometimes, mom. So yeah.
But you're holding onto the toy.
No, he gets his ball or he'll like we do a mix of tug or he can just like have it and chomp, chomp, chomp and squish
Mm.
it. Yeah.
I would think that like while you're doing this training protocol, not using any toys that you can't possess as well.
Mhm.
Like
Have
a
it on
toy
a
that he just
rope.
yeah, anything that's on a rope. I wouldn't give him anything that you can't also possess, because that's going to be so much higher value for him. And then like doing certain things with those toys that to make them higher value gradually, like throwing them and getting some of that arousal going, and practicing then the calming behaviors with those low value toys, so that then by the time you bring in these high value, you can hopefully you have a ball on a rope that's like a pretty standard close to the ball that he would be getting, like the chuck it balls that have you could
Handle.
put
Yeah.
leather through.
Oh yeah.
Cool. And so then that's like your step before getting to the standard ball, where you can still possess it, but you can kind of simulate the level of arousal that you get from the regular ball, and then go to, once you see like stellar behavior with that, then you go to him getting that high value ball.
Yeah.
It does mean a
I
bit
don't
of withholding for a
I don't
while,
know.
but
I don't think that's necessary, and I
no.
would just throw a red flag up that if he loves possession and you're turning it into tuck, then you're taking away the part that he loves the most. And also that's like progressing him through the prey sequence and more towards the serotonin calming chemical part of the neurotransmitters. So it's potentially superior if that's the part of the sequence that he likes, to just let him have it, but just try and be more involved in that interaction. So I'm not saying that strategy wouldn't work, but with a bunch of dogs that will literally work to hold on to something, I just kind of wait and let them have whenever I'm in a training scenario, I just let them have their thing until they're done with it, or they want to switch, or
That's
they
kind of,
throw it at me.
yeah. Yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing to try and rebuild our relationship with it. Like, I'm not ever going to come take it. You bring it to me when you're ready. But then, like, trying to think maybe that's just what we don't do at work. Like, we'll have to build up to be able to do that and maybe do the thing they suggested of give, food at each reward or a little bit of tug or something that I can hold on to it. We move on and then you get your ball at the very end or something like that until we have that better. Yeah.
That's a cool strategy. Like, because since he left ball
I have a video if you want to add
Yeah.
to the video.
Let's see it.
This was when I was taking Shade Weitzel's class on cooperative toy play. And so this was us doing a switch. I don't know. So I'm just waiting them out. Trying to make him not have access to the other one. Not moving, because sometimes I would crouch and that body pressure would be too much.
Mm.
But this was kind of like our switch for a little bit. We have gotten like a switch where I lob it and he goes and gets it. But yeah, this is his, I don't want to give it back yet.
I took the same class a few years ago with Emmett, and that's about as far as I got. I could get him to switch, but I could never get him to just give it to me when I wanted it.
Mhm.
Then like a year later, I got him to switch. I could he would give it to me, he would eat his hot dog piece, and I would give it back to him. And then
Oh,
he
that's
learned to give it to me
Mm.
because he would get the hot dog plus he'd get the toy back.
Yeah.
So we did make a little progress that way.
I love that idea,
He's
Heather.
like, sure.
Oh, sorry.
No, please go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I love that for Scotty of secondary reinforces in a high target environment, and then like every however often or at the end, big bowl fun, because he will work for it. Like
And
he'll
like
do it, and then
the
there's no
positive-
conflict.
The positive is that once I do get the ball back, he's not like deterred in any way. Like he's still just as happy. He's ready to search. Like, yeah, I think for like scat projects or places where I'm going to be actually processing at the scat for longer, like go have your toy. Like that makes the most sense. But for like a small 15-minute search, 15, 20-minute search, like where we have to find 5 things or, you know, like, yeah, maybe it does make more sense to just, here's your food, let's keep going. Yeah.
Yeah, he totally. I reckon he'll
Cool.
or some lower value thing. I reckon he'll just keep going.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome, Heather. That looked great.
So cool.
Yeah. I wish that was weeks ago though, where took some steps back, but okay. Well, I
Would-
appreciate the
I have a
feedback.
question. I have a question for you based off of that. If you were to then take away the, hey, I have a ball, will you hand touch? If you go just to, will you hand touch? Would you be able to then hand touch and then throw?
Oh, instead of going around. Or
No. So like, because like right now he has a ball he's enjoying and he's kind of like watching you and I got my ball. And then you're like, I have a ball. Will you hand touch? And then he hand touches and then you ask for the
Without
around and then the
gotcha.
throw.
Without holding the second
Right.
ball, can he hand touch? Yeah, he can do
right.
that. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. So then you're like well on your way there.
Yeah, I think of like, okay, but if you were asking if I can hand target, pick up the one he did have, then he's like, no, I have to go snatch that. So I'm always, and I have a new like end of game cue. I'm not gonna play with you. We're not doing anything to try and be like game over, and you can go chomp, and then it ends up we just end up having to go to the car. He knows finally to drop the ball before we get into the car, but.
So I feel like if I'm sorry, go ahead.
Like getting the last ball or getting the toy at the very end besides a trade or what feels fair. I don't know.
So that's why I think that like taking the I have a ball out of the sequence so that because right now you have to present a ball to throw a ball. So well maybe you don't actually have to. Like right now that's just what that video shows. So if you do hand touch, he goes around, you throw the second ball so that you can then collect the other one. Okay, now you do that a couple of times, get him used to, he doesn't have to see the other ball. Then can you do hand touch, maybe a behavior of like, well, hand touch and maybe you're able to reach for that first ball that he had. And then now you're throwing the single ball. So it's hand touch, throw that ball. So he gets the ball back. You possessing it is just a way for you to throw it for him. And then you can practice you grabbing the toy and then the scatter and then the throw.
Yeah.
So that the scatter doesn't mean you have the ball taken from you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you eventually go to like scatter and then like an all done. And then maybe that's when he gets his ball back and goes to the car. Or maybe but we do need a way for him to continue work without the ball. So maybe it's a scatter, go find another one. And that's when you move on to the next behavior and the balls are away for now. I think that's probably how I would go in that same like vein of what you guys are doing because it looks really good.
Yeah, I think I just need to practice doing stuff in between like building up to like me having it and yeah, you not having it. And I like the idea of adding a scatter, but it not being the end, and yeah, more unpredictable stuff because he was not, he's just too smart. He's like, I know out means the game is over. So he was stopping to out, but I could get him to do a spin and then re-engage. And then I'm like, I don't want to ruin that cue now. So yeah, yeah. But anywho,
Right. Yeah.
I appreciate it.
I guess it's
He
like,
also like, go ahead,
oh,
Megan. I'm so sorry. I think my
It's
internet's delayed, so I interrupt you guys a lot. I'm so sorry. Go
because
ahead.
I'm so far away, it takes ages to get to you. Um, the I was just gonna say it's kind of like the whole thing with like pet people just hooking their dogs on leash and taking them away from the fun. So kind of like if you just use all those same principles of like, oh, out means now we play ball some more, or out means now
Mhm.
you can do a more fun thing. Then maybe and maybe not even doing like heaps of reps. Like I think the hardest thing I've ever had to learn is like less reps.
Mhm.
I just want to practice the thing because I've made time for it.
Mhm.
Like if you just were like did one out and then played ball for 5 minutes, and then whatever you're gonna do is your end situation, or let him keep it or whatever. Like every now and then, maybe. I mean, you must have like a million ideas. You're gonna be the queen of outs by the time you nail it with Scotty. You'll know every single system you could possibly do.
I know.
Yeah.
I need to go
You
to a
also had to like
play
really hit the
clinic.
ground running.
Oh yeah, like
Go to a what clinic?
a play seminar. I'm really bummed
Yeah.
that Crystal from Crystal Wing wasn't at the seminar I was at because she's the best at play.
She wasn't at your seminar. You totally could have just like
I know, she could have fixed him.
cornered her.
It's
Have
okay.
you heard of Kelly Connell?
No, not her.
So my mentor is she does bite sports, and so I've had like an interesting little foray into like going to bite sports seminars, whatever. But like it's cool to see how these people who like need to have really high levels of control on their dog for
Mhm.
obvious reasons, how they use play as a way to like get those behaviors from the dogs and get them to out from this thing that is like so
The
crazy
best.
high value and whatever. So I think it's something that maybe we underutilize a little bit, of going to like seminars of things that are so far out of our like sphere because we want it to be applicable to us. But
I'm so
having this
keen on
opportunity
body
of
book,
where,
Maddie. Yeah, I totally agree. I'm so keen on the body play seminars. I'm all about it.
yeah, yeah. So I don't know. It was I did a working spot at her seminar like 2 or 3 years ago, maybe, and it was a lot of fun. Pointed out a lot of issues that I had, but her Kelly Connell does a lot of play based training, so it was really cool to see how she got dogs to basically out from a suit
Mhm.
with this switch game because she switches off the suit onto a toy, and then it's easier to just continuously ratchet down, and then as the dog gets more practice in this you don't have to do as much ratcheting down and it just becomes out
Mhm.
because that's a predictor for a reward instead of I'm going to take that thing from you.
Yeah.
So yeah, making the out the predictor for a reward is a cool way to do that. Like if you did out, throw, out, scatter, and then it's like maybe we go back to throwing because it's just we're just going to play fetch. But again, like Megan's saying, like not doing it too much because now we're working against like when they lose enough energy and they just want to lay down and relax. Now we're not going to have the same like tools at our disposal.
See, you just gave
Yeah,
me
what
an
were we saying,
amazing
Megan?
idea. So when I was trying to teach Melon to give a shit about the toy, because like instead of the world, because the world was so exciting, I made a loop of tug, food, sniff, tug, food, sniff. So they were all like reinforcing each other in a circle. And
Cool.
honestly, don't actually know what was reinforcing what at the end, like, because it was just this continuous loop. But I definitely know that once I started the loop, he started being able to like offer focus in difficult environments. Like, and still, if he can't tug, that's like okay, we're not working right now. We need to work on something else. But I wonder if there's some circle of behaviors that you can do that is like just like a continuous cycle of good stuff. So
Mhm.
like eating food is like reinforced by ball, which is reinforced by whatever I need to like the secondary thing. And then it's just all a big circle and everything becomes more fluent. That might be helpful.
Yeah, I like that because I think I'm working against like, yeah, he has this bad idea of our play. So making the second parts, even if like I go from an out to the next throw or out to retugging, like it's still difficult to get the out sometimes. So yeah, finding the way to make it all reinforcing. I like that idea. Yeah.
That's where you can go. You can say your new out cue and do switch. And so if you have a good switch
Mhm.
protocol, and you say out, switch, and it just becomes this predictor for getting
You
that
get your
reward
next
back.
your next toy. Yeah.
Yeah, and then maybe adding a little mini sniff game into it, like Megan has hinted at where it worked for Merlin. I mean, if you just had a couple of things out, we were like, this is our station one, there's one find. This is our station here, there's another find, and you just like sniff, or maybe you do the play first, and then you cue him to sniff, because if that's already reinforcing for him, then he gets the reward and moves on to the next station where there's another thing to find.
Good ideas, guys. Thank you.
Well, I'm gonna have to say
You don't have
It's a
to do
fun little
any of it,
problem.
Heather. I think it's helping me to think about it conceptually, just to be like, oh yeah, we'll just take Scotty as an example. I have this Mally friend who my friend has this completely bonkers Mally. And I'm like, if I can get him to focus, he's gonna be amazing. And I can just like snook him into my program. But his current idea of a great time is to eat the thing.
Mm.
And she really struggles with the outs as well. Like, and so I might test out that protocol you're using on Scotty with the Chirag Patel scatter one to try and see if we can get a nice loop going, because his current vibe is what I want to do is take this bunny tug and then eat the bunny tug.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I want to shred it.
I'm just gonna
Well,
shred
guys,
it and then maybe
guys,
I'll eat
I
it as
gotta
well.
go. I gotta go, so I'm just gonna say goodbye to everybody, and I'll see
Hi,
you
Alice.
Hi, Alice.
Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah, cool. Thanks for sharing, Heather. That was a lot of fun to tease apart. I mean, the challenge that you have with Scotty is that you guys just had to go right to work. Like, he was needed in California last year, what, like a few weeks after you got him? Like,
Yeah. It was
so
like a
you guys
month
had
and
to hit
a
the
half,
ground running.
and then I was handing him off to Kayla. I was like, I
Yeah, I can't
I
imagine.
think he can do it.
Yeah. And he did do
Did
it,
it.
is the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
But
He's
it's
amazing.
just like he started off his work history of just being like, oh, like outing is like we don't really have a
I
protocol
have to
here.
get rid of my favorite thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does he have did you say you let him have the balls in the house?
I don't know.
Is that 'cause he's best and he
Balls
just
are under my control. Yeah. Like I would when we move to this new place too, I don't even want them in our yard, like, because then he'll just obsess at sitting at the back door, because that means I get to go play. So they're kind of like in a field or at work, but I definitely do ball stuff outside of work, especially when we're working on this to be outside of the context of work. But yeah.
Cool.
We have two new people.
Mm-hmm. Callie and Aaron.
Hello. Hi.
Hi,
I've
friend.
just been listening. Hello. Yeah.
Yep, I've just been
I'm new.
listening too.
do you have any stuff you guys
Cool.
want to talk about?
I was just listening I'm very interested in what Heather has been talking about, because that's kind of what like I've been going through with my baby dog. But I did find the like swapping for food has really increased her interest in bringing things back and giving them back rather than just running off with them.
Yeah, definitely start that young and you'll have a
Mm.
better.
Yeah.
That's what fixed, like, Erin, when I first started working with Evie, Julie would say, oh, she doesn't like to bring the thing back, and I just added food and it fixed it.
Yeah.
Like, straight. So it depends, like, obviously Scotty does not care about food.
I will say,
Oh,
since,
doesn't he?
since
Okay,
he's been neutered, his food drive has gone up though, so that is working in my favor too.
I find the all the stuff you guys are talking about, the toy drive and stuff, interesting, because I've been trying to build the toy drive in my young dog, who I'll start on odor this fall when I get fresh odor, because my main dog right now has absolutely no toy drive. He has a ton of food drive. He loves food. I mean, over the top loves food. But so it's been interesting to listen to you guys talk about that. And right now it's pretty even with this, my young dog, is whether, food over toy. Depends on the toy though. I definitely need to go through a protocol of seeing what are your favorite toys.
Mhm.
Oh, Paul
that whole
Bunker
thing.
has a nice video on his webpage. You can just follow his protocol to do that, which is
I did. I
yay.
watched that and I was like, oh, that is cool. I just have to sit down and do it. It's actually in his book, I think, too.
It is. Yeah.
yeah. I
Okay,
like
that. Maybe that's where I saw it.
visual
Then.
I used that this weekend for one of my dogs at a scent work trial, and we were like, oh, she loves working for cream cheese, and then I'm like, well, let's just check that, and offered her something else, and she's like, no, I definitely want the other thing. I don't want the cream cheese. So.
Oh, there you go. So I mean, yeah.
And he does say in his book to keep like doing it quite regularly, I think, because they can find something reinforcing for a while and then change their mind or just like something different.
Yeah, I mean, and you can build that, like, that's influenced by what you do, right? Like if you spend time building one or another, or use one more frequently in certain contexts, then that like whole little reinforcement cycle loop, like I feel like you get it for doing a thing that you love, then it suddenly changes things. But with toys, the only thing is sometimes that will tell you like what they prefer in terms of the item, but it won't necessarily tell you what their favorite reinforcer is, because there's all that stuff going on with the interaction with you as well. Like, so that's one thing that's the only thing missing, but there's no way you can do it independently. Like, it would be very hard. You'd have to do like so have someone else observe you and like take behavioral notes, which is like a total pain in the ass. So you may as well just use the vibe for the actual interaction and all that kind of stuff.
It's hard enough to get somebody to be with you to video.
I was just getting at that. It's hard enough to get people to do any other support things, let alone take notes while doing it. I mean, I need to do more blind searches. Like, I need that so bad. And I just don't get a lot of it.
Yeah. I do 99% of my training is just me and the dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I know, and it's almost like it should be swapped, but we just don't have that capability all the time.
Right. We do have to actually work and do other things, and my dog friend people I have to work too, and
yeah, blinds are so like having facilitated blinds are like the most useful training tool of all of them, and they're the hardest thing to get to be able to happen unless you have like a training group. Yeah.
I try to just forget where I put it, and then it's like I'm blind.
That's really good.
Yes, I have done that before, and then my dog finds it, and I'm like, "That's not. Oh yeah, that was it. Good job! Yay!"
That totally happened to me the other day, and I was like, "What are you doing?" Like, I thought it was over there, and I'm like, I thought they were just like recreationally sniffing, and then like, Evie indicates, and I'm like, "Oh, it's totally there. Sorry, Evie, I was not."
Yep. Underrepresented the personal blind search. Yeah.
New strategy, yeah.
Yeah. Personally facilitated blind
You
search.
could just like spin yourself around in a couple of circles and like go out the
Yeah.
way that you came in.
You like
Just huck
slingshot
it
it over your
somewhere.
shoulder. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
you're muted.
Megan, I think we lost Megan.
So yeah, I love the throwing it backwards. It's a good one. Someone on the chat was like, "Oh, I have a drone and with like little pincers, just
Yeah.
like drop it randomly."
Oh man.
I bet you can select the point too, so you could like confirm.
Where it dropped. If you like after the
Yeah.
dang.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you
Right.
could look on the track
Yeah.
if you couldn't find it, or yeah, that's
Yeah.
so funny.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I need a drone so bad.
Facilitated blind.
That's
Yeah.
why I need it. Yeah. Not because I heard about it.
Yeah, right.
So I didn't bring a video
Alright.
to this because I didn't really know what happened. But my biggest problem with my dog that like is most sort of advanced is how like fast he goes, and that he's not like I worry that he's not searching properly, and I was wondering like what you would suggest to slow him down and get him to just be a bit more methodical in the way he searches.
What do you mean you worry that he's not searching properly?
Well, he just like zooms off and he's, like I don't think he'd actually be able to, like, this is for wind farm work. So I worry that he would miss things because he's just going like full speed ahead to kind of as far as he, wants to go in the search. And we do like, we have quite a big area to search, but just making sure that he's actually checked everything properly is what I'm worried about.
Have you tried having a hide right at the beginning of the search so that if he blows past it, he's missing something, and so then you can call him back, and obviously you're not standing right next to the hide, but you're like, check here, and it's not there, and you're like, check here, and then
No, I
maybe
haven't
it's
tried.
like
I haven't tried anything. So yeah, that's a really good suggestion.
And have you tested if he actually misses stuff? Because the dead stuff is so stinky. Like Merlin will he can clear a hectare in just some stupidly fast amount of time. Like if it's an open space, like Heather is saying, like they can do it
How
really
long do you leave things out for? Because I have like a few very precious bat carcasses that were hard for me to get hold of, and I'm like quite protective of them. And we have European wasps here, and I actually had one of my bats get completely stripped down to the bone by European wasps in last autumn. And so I'm quite worried about leaving them out for a long time, but I don't know if that's part of the problem is I have them out for, say 30 minutes instead of like hours. But yeah, I did the last time. I haven't actually worked, I haven't done a lot of training on this for a while. But the last time I did, I put out, like a bat carcass, didn't leave it out for very long. And he didn't go, like he didn't seem to pick it up straight away. I had to kind of encourage him to go over and search in that area where it was, and then he found it. But we have an ongoing struggle with him, looking for like critters rather than doing his job as well.
I will say on that note, I've found that especially my one dog, she will critter more when there's an area of nothing, which
Yeah.
is in the back of your mind. You're like, get to work. Why are you not finding it? But then I've realized over time that that's usually me. Like she knows, she has odor obedience. So if there is a bat, she will take me to it. But it's
Mm.
telling me that when you are crittering, that means that there's likely nothing here. And it's a bummer that like most of our stuff on the wind farm is like blind. Like we don't know what's out there. So like we do
Yeah.
have to rely on our training. But I think, yeah, adding in like that's having what Madison suggested of trying to
One
do
at the
it
start.
in training. Yeah, putting it at the
Yep.
start and see if he is actually missing them or he's just
Mm.
really good at clearing blank areas and he's like, there's
Mm.
nothing here. Because the
Yeah.
thing that I have found when Scotty was newer and he was working off leash in the wind farms, he was missing. And I was like testing him because I would let him go first and then bring out Ellie to be like, well, did you miss anything? Because that was my way of checking a blind.
Yep.
Was if it was very fresh because they don't stink as much.
Right.
And especially like as happened that evening, like they're really not, especially if you haven't had that as your training sample to help with the generalizing. I've usually found the fresh bats or fresh birds take longer for that, or they have to have some real field finds for them to generalize to that.
Yeah,
But then
okay.
also, so fresh stuff or very, very tiny pieces that like Ellie is a more methodical searcher. So she's going to find the little bit of hair that is not putting off enough if he were to blow by it. But otherwise he was finding still like bits of wing. But yeah, but now he'll bring me back to a piece that I have like, it was a bit of a bat in tall grass. And then we searched the same plots. So say we searched them twice a week. So at the beginning of the week, we found a little bit and I must not have collected all of it. So then later in the week, he showed me another little bit and he's like, I get another reward, even though it's same spot, same bat, but different piece. So
Yeah.
I
Okay.
also wonder, like, do I want to be collecting this? Because I don't know. Anyway, now we're going down a rabbit hole, but yeah.
Yeah,
So
thanks.
Well,
with the one he missed though, is it like how defrosted was it? Because there's a couple things going on. One, you don't have any of the like bacteria component of the dead smell if it's not fully defrosted. And the other one is that the odor profile is going to be way smaller if it's not defrosted. So it might just be that he did miss it because the odor wasn't accessible to him in the pattern that he was doing.
Yeah, well, that's what I think. Like, maybe I've got to find a way that I can have them left out for longer without risking them being eaten
If you
by wasps.
Put them in like a jar with like a fine mesh even, maybe like protect it, but then it can still, I know ants will probably still get in, but
I mean,
Yeah,
if you want to preserve it, make a couple of get scent tubes off the odor is really what
right.
you could
Yeah, I do have get
Or-
scent tubes that
Yeah,
I've been holding
awesome.
on to because they're expensive. I wasn't really sure.
I know.
that I'd
I know they're
bust them
so
out for that.
expensive.
Yeah.
You want to do them
Paul
a minimum
Bunker
of 48 hours for a dead
Okay.
stuff.
Yep.
and Paul Bunker says he'll also use cotton swabs or any cotton will pick up the odor. It's just not reusable. So you can stick a couple of cotton balls in there and you just want to make sure you're proofing off the cotton balls. Or like gauze material, whatever it is, that stuff will soak up odor. But you just wouldn't use it again after you've used it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I didn't know that one. The other thing you could do is you may not want to because they're super precious, but at some point you'll need to do different sizes of bat and pieces. So you could just articulate
Chop
the
'em up.
bat. Yeah. And so then you'd have 30 samples instead of 4.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. Thank you.
Cool. What part of the world are you in?
I am in Australia. I'm in Tasmania at the bottom. Yeah.
Oh, nice. I never made it to Tasmania. I would love to go.
It's pretty special. I used to actually live in Central Australia, like right in the middle, and moved down here a while ago. So big change of climate, but the dogs love it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was in Melbourne
I
for
used to work with
2014.
Megan. Megan got me interested in dog things because she was
Nice.
handling dogs on a bat project I was working on. And I was like, I want to do what she's doing. That looks really fun.
Yeah. Don't we all?
Yeah.
Yeah, Erin was the bat
Nice.
ecologist when we went to the Pilbara with Dallas and Evie, one that I did on the bat roosts. Yeah.
Cool. Megan, are you in Perth area?
Yeah, I'm in Perth.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also never got to Western Australia.
Well, you can
Oh, wow.
come.
Yeah,
You can
come
do
back.
this. Come and visit. Like soon I'll have a place that people can come and visit.
I can't wait. It's been 10 years since I was there, and I just love that place.
So this is my first time in these meetings. Should I bring a video? Is that like normally what people do? And then you can tell me all the things I'm doing wrong.
Yeah, or things you're
Yeah.
doing right.
Yeah.
We try to give feedback in both directions. So, this is recorded too. So for any of the stuff you missed earlier on,
Okay.
it'll be posted so you can
Okay.
watch that. And you'll get a good idea of kind of what to expect. There's previous meetings posted too. And yeah, just bring the video, have it uploaded to YouTube usually if you want to have it at least unlisted so that you can at least share the video.
Okay.
And people also post it in the Patreon post if you'd like. That's what we went back to for Anne, who wasn't able to attend, and we still went through her videos. So even
Okay.
if you're not able to attend, you can post it there. And Anne did a really great job this time of telling us kind of what she's looking to do and where she's looking to improve and all that kind of stuff in the video itself. And she also posted it in Patreon. So
Okay.
she made a really good example of that. So if you just want to watch earlier in this recording,
Yep.
you'll get a good idea.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah. What kind of dog are you working?
I have 3 GSPs and an old Doberman who doesn't do anything except tell everyone else off. But yeah,
Nice.
so Gibson's my oldest GSP, and he's the one that's kind of closest to being able to do some work. But yeah, I'm not sure when I'll actually get any paid work. So I'm just kind of like trying
Sure.
to do all the training in the hope that something will, come up eventually.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm in a similar boat.
Erin, this is going to sound kind of mad, especially for wind farm stuff. But if you are worried about focus, and you want Gibbo to learn a pattern, you can do it on leash.
Okay. Yeah.
Use
I mean,
that
I don't
for
think he doesn't find being on leash very aversive. Like he just does
Oh
what he
yeah, no, it
does.
just means people give me a funny look when I suggest doing a wind farm set. You don't want that to be your end goal, but if you want to just work on focus, sometimes leash will help bring them in a little bit, and it'll also help establish the pattern that you want. And then once they've learned a pattern in a few different places, then they'll kind of just do it.
Yeah, I might try that as well because I do have some trust issues with him, which is it's definitely like I didn't really know what I was doing and I still don't, but like I know a little bit more than I did when I started training him, and I've let him, get away with some naughty things. So yeah, but I've made heaps of notes. So thank you everybody for and maybe next week I'll have a video ready.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Right on. Yeah, there's lots of resources out there. I don't know if you've checked out the canine conservation course, but there's that. And then obviously if you've learned a lot from Megan, she probably had some great direction to start. We also have several of the videos that have been posted, or like the Facebook group has some videos of historical videos of what people have posted and whatnot.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And then there's the podcast, which I'm sure you're aware of.
I
There's
listen
some-
to every episode at least once. It's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You are marketing
Yeah,
team,
so-
Maddie? Do you
Yeah,
better
how much are you gonna pay me for it? No, I'm just kidding. I mean, it's just like it's sometimes it's overwhelming the amount of information out there, but sometimes it's like underwhelming. Like, I mean, it's just like it just feels so like how do you find the info
Yeah,
that
you
you
have to
need? You feel
piecemeal
really
everything
lost.
together. Yeah, it's tough. And training by yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all so like we said, we're all our own. We can't practice blinds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tough.
Yeah.
So that's the
So
hope of
I don't.
Patreon.
Yeah. I'm just kind of like I'm always in this like I feel frantic almost like I need to learn more information. Like I feel like I'm like almost behind or something, and I'm like how do I like understand all the things like right now? And like I want to make sure I'm up to date with all the science, and like I just like I'm
Yes.
constantly in a state of like it just feel like I'm like I haven't read that paper yet. Oh my God. Like
Robin's got a new
so-
webinar. I haven't watched it yet.
yeah, exactly. So I'm like right now I'm binging a lot of the content that Nathan Hall has put out on Ford K9. So I'm like I started subscribing to their thing and webinars, 2 previous webinars a month with your subscription. And so I'm like trying to watch Nathan Hall stuff and like which are the instructions he gives to his students, it appears, because Ford K9 had asked him to do 1 like webinar and he's like, I'll do 4. And so I'm just trying to like consume all of it. And it's like I'm overwhelmed myself, but I'm still like, oh, I don't know enough. I gotta keep learning.
I feel like you're doing so awesome. I'm also
Thank
super
you.
yeah, I'm like so sad that I don't get to come and meet everybody in the seminar in September, but
I know we want you there so bad.
if it had been any other time, like apart from that 2-week window, I would definitely be coming.
There's another one at Search Dog Foundation. It's not put on by Canine Conservationists,
But all
but
my
it's
friends won't be there.
well, I guess are trying to go.
Yeah, okay, I'll have a
It's-
look at
It's put on by some of the other people that are in Conservation Dog Alliance. Like Kyoko's is
You mean the
Noses for
In
Nature.
February.
conference,
Mhm.
the conference that Aridan's hosting? Yeah, but is it not going to be a workshop? It's going to be a conference, right?
Mhm. I think so.
Oh, is there no
Fall?
working?
I don't think it's work. I think it's just like, yeah.
I can't. I don't want to.
I don't know, Megan. Maybe you just need to host one in Perth, and we'll just have to be there.
Robin's coming next year. It's happening.
I saw
Okay,
that.
well,
comment.
give me time to write a grant to pay for my way, and I'll be there.
Yeah. No, once we're like property shopping. Once I get it, I'm just gonna be like, okay, come on down. You can come.
Oh,
with us."
I'm so there.
Yeah. Anyway,
I'm so there.
clearly this has devolved. So.
Yeah. I know, and it's still recording. People are gonna be like watching this like a year from now and be like, oh, okay.
What's happening?
Cool. Well, thanks, guys. This was fun.
Yeah.
Hi, friends.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.